National Assembly shall consider two bills at the Committee of the Whole House stage. The County Governments Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the Senate. It is a bill that is co-sponsored by the Honorable Timothy Toroitich. Also, the Basic Amendment Bill, Basic Education Amendment Bill. This is a bill that is originating from the National Assembly and sponsored by the Honorable Member for Madare, Honorable Anthony Oluoch. A bill that basically seeks to address a long-standing structural gap in Kenya's education system. That is the legal status and state funding of informal schools. The primary focus of the bill is to formally recognize, regulate, and mainstream alternative provision for basic education and training institutions into the formal education framework. The Honorable Member for Gilgil, Martha Wangare, who is a member of the Speaker's panel, is in the chamber. Allow me to hand you over.
Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliament for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we shall treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant at Arms, ring the bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the prayer has been said and the chair taken. However, there is a quorum hitch at the commencement of the House. The member for Gilgil, Honorable Martha Wangare, a member of the Speaker's panel, the first chairperson of committees, has directed that the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. This is, of course, to give room to the members of the National Assembly to be able to make their way into the chamber and join their colleague, and also, most importantly, enable the House attain the quorum for it to be able to commence as provided for in the House standing order. So as we wait for that, we shall continue to take a look at some of the priority business that the members shall this morning transact for this plenary sitting or during this plenary sitting. Earlier on, I had indicated to you that the House shall be considering two bills that are lined up for consideration at the Committee of the Whole House stage. The County Governments Amendment Bill, originating from the Senate and co-sponsored by the Honorable Member for Marakwet West, Honorable Timothy Toroitich, and also the Basic Education Amendment Bill, originating from the National Assembly, the bill that is sponsored by the Honorable Member for Madare, Honorable Anthony Oluoch. The Basic Education Amendment Bill is one that seeks to address a long-standing structural gap in Kenya's education system. the legal status and the state funding on, or rather of informal schools. The bill proposes amendments to Basic Education Act 2013 to be able to bridge the gap between formal public schools and non-formal learning centers, which heavily serve informal settlements and marginalized regions. This is a bill that will be considered at the committee of the whole house stage to be able to consider various amendments. In terms of legal recognition for this amendment, it integrates the APBET. This is the alternative provision for basic education and training institutions, schools, directly into the statutory definition of basic education. It also changes their status from temporary community-led initiatives to legally recognized anchors of the education system. Terms of access to state funding and capitation also, which has been a major challenge or a hurdle for this kind of institutions or schools, is that the bill proposes providing infrastructure improvement grants and capitation funds directly to the institutions to alleviate the financial burden on vulnerable families.
Honorable Muruidhania, it is out of order to exit when the bell is ringing.
Yeah, the speaker reminding the members that at the time when the quorum bell is underway, that the House looks to correct, then the members who are in the chamber should not be walking out of the chamber, because that is the time that the House is seeking to be able to correct for it to be able to commence its sitting. And that is just a reminder for the members to stay put and wait until perhaps the House commences, and then they can be able to perhaps step out and then continue with the business of the day. So we shall continue to take a look at the Basic Education Amendment Bill, the Policy Framework for Alternative Provision of Basic Education and Training 2009, and the Basic Education Regulations 2015 recognizes categories of APBET institutions, including the adult continuing education centers, the non-formal education learning centers, the vocational training centers, alternative basic education programs, which are referred to as non-formal schools, or mobile schools, night schools, and home schools. However, presently there is no proper recognition of such schools in the Basic Education Act 2013. It is on this background that the bill seeks to streamline the Basic Education Act 2013 to align it with the APBET Policy 2009 and the Basic Education Regulations 2015 in order to fully embrace and mainstream alternative provision for basic education and training, that is APBET schools, into the formal education structures or system. This is a bill that, as I had indicated earlier, is coming up for consideration at the Committee of the Whole. This is the time when members shall be able to consider any amendments that may have been moved regarding this particular bill. This morning also the bill that seeks to amend the Penal Code, that is the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2024, also by the Honorable Member for Madare, Anthony Olwatch, is coming up or is scheduled to resume on its debate. It's a bill that is at its second reading stage. The bill is debate resumption after it was interrupted on the Wednesday of June 24th, the year 2026, during the morning sitting. There is a balance.
Sergeant at Arms will do another 5 minutes.
So it's a further 5-minute quorum bell that has been added for the House to be able to correct. We have seen members walk into the chamber. However, the quorum has not yet been attained. And of course, we shall continue to take a look at the priority business that is lined up for consideration. The Basic Education Amendment Bill, there are amendments that the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education intends to be moving following amendments to the Basic Education Amendment Bill 2025 that is at the Committee of the Whole House. Remember, the committee engaged the public on their views, to collect their views, and table their report with the proposed amendments to the bill, and also consider those amendments at the Committee of the Whole House stage. So that is part of the business that shall be transacted this morning. The Penal Code Amendment Bill, originating from the National Assembly, is coming up for a resumption of the bill that is at its second reading stage. And the bill seeks to amend the Penal Code to delete Section 266. The proposed amendment will decriminalize suicide and enable attempted suicide to be seen as a serious problem requiring mental health interventions and not be treated as a criminal offense. The bill that once the amendment sails through is that it will decriminalize suicide and enable attempted suicide to be seen as a serious problem requiring mental health interventions and not be treated as a criminal offense. In backing this particular amendment is that the sponsor of the bill indicates that reducing the global suicide rate by 1/3 by 2030 is a target of both the United Nations, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the World Health Organization, that global mental health action and also global mental health action plan. Various countries have committed to taking measures in this direction. The World Health Organization policy brief on decriminalization of suicide provides that an impediment to meeting this goal is the fact that suicide and suicide attempts remain illegal in at least 23 countries worldwide. A decriminalization of suicide and suicide attempts represents one critical step governments can take in their efforts to prevent suicide, and also further that criminalizing suicide will not prevent people from acting on suicidal thoughts, and it simply stops them from reaching out and seeking help in times of acute crisis. So this is a bill that seeks to address that.
Honourable members, will begin the proceedings of the House.
The quorum has been attained.
First order.
Allow me to hand you over.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
We shall come after a while to order number 2. We shall revisit it in the course of these proceedings. But in the meantime, Majority Leader, to lay some papers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 1st July 2026, this morning sitting. Reports of the Auditor General Financial Statements for the year ended 30th June 2021, 30th June 2022, 30th June 2023, 30th June 2024, and 30th June 2025, and the certificates they are in respect of the following schools: Dadaab Secondary School, Githunguchu Secondary School, Godoma Secondary, Itugururu High School, Kaaga Boys Secondary, Magarini Girls Secondary, Makanyanga Secondary, Mariakani Secondary, Njambindi Boys High, Shurie Secondary, and Umusalama Girls Secondary School. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Very well. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
There are some questions, there are some statements to be requested, but before we do that, allow me to recognize in the Speaker's Gallery visiting delegation from Alternative Provision for Basic Education, APBET from Mathare Constituency, Nairobi County. Kindly join me in the House to welcome you to observe the proceedings of the House. I am told you're the guest of the member for Mathare, and because he's the one going first to request a statement, I'll indulge you. Before you request your statement, you can also welcome them. Yes, right now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to welcome to this House the directors, teachers, and school heads of the Alternative Provisions for Basic Education. The third reading that we are engaging in today is a brainchild of these directors and teachers. This is a process that I began in the 12th Parliament. And during that time, the bill went up to the second reading. Unfortunately, we broke for the 2022 elections before we could get this bill to the stage where it is. I want to thank you very much. There are close to about 3 million students who fall within the alternative provisions for basic education and who are unaccounted for in our basic education system. You appointed me to become the ambassador for alternative provisions for basic education, a role which I took with a lot of vigor, and it has resulted in this bill coming today for the committee stage and hopefully the passage for it then to go to a third reading and assent. Karibu, welcome, and follow the proceedings, and we encourage your students that through the affirmative action that this constitution recognizes, these children are not children of a lesser God. Hopefully, they will also become part of the mainstream children like the other children in the Republic of Kenya. Karibu, and follow the proceedings. Asante. So I may proceed then to go with my statement.
Yes, Honorable Member for Mathare, and I want to also congratulate you by the fact this bill has come. I remember in the 12th Parliament, you are very vigorous in championing for it. And it applies to very many provisions, including the right to getting food in the community centers and schools that are sponsored by alternative government and non-profit. And I think this is a very commendable bill that you have brought to this House. Go ahead and request your statement.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I rise to request a statement regarding the rising cases of abduction and missing persons in Mathare constituency. And I hasten to say this has nothing to do with the 25th demonstrations. These are just people who have been missing. I need to make that very clear. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the alarming increase in cases of missing persons within Mathare constituency. Honorable Speaker, in recent weeks, several residents of Mathare constituency have been reported to have disappeared under unclear circumstances. Among them are Mr. Joel Karaoke Mwai, a business person and a former MCA aspirant who was allegedly abducted or went missing on the 18th of June 2026 by armed individuals in civilian clothing around Mashimoni area. There is also Mr. Michael Olo Osura, who went missing on the 19th of June 2026 in Umoja around Caltex. Mr. Maximilian Kiarie, who was reportedly abducted on the 20th of June 2026 by individuals operating an unmasked vehicle around Kizito Stage in Githurai, and Mr. Abdulaziz Molu, also popularly known as Zozu, a resident of Kiamaikol, whose whereabouts remain unknown and is the subject of the demonstration you saw yesterday on TV. Honorable Speaker, the reported incidences have caused great anxiety among families and residents, particularly given allegations that the victims were taken by individuals claiming to be security officers. Efforts by families to obtain information from relevant security agencies regarding the whereabouts of the missing persons have reportedly yielded no information. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, the whereabouts and welfare of Mr. Joel Karaoke Mwai, Mr. Michael Olo Osura, Macmillian Kiarie, and Abdulaziz Molu, aka Zozu. I hasten to add, Honorable Speaker, that one of them I saw on the mainstream media has since been found, for which I am very grateful as Member of Parliament, and so we are still pursuing the other 3. 2, whether any unit of the National Police Service, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, or any other state agency was involved in their arrest, detention, and disappearance. And 3, the measures being taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to investigate these incidences, prevent arbitrary abductions if indeed they are, and if not, or any enforced disappearances, and safeguard the rights and security of residents of Mathare constituency and the citizens of Kenya. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tongoyo, this is to your committee. Give Tongoyo the mic.
Madam Speaker, considering that the House is going for recess tomorrow, I can get the response immediately the first Wednesday when we resume back. But considering the importance, the sensitivity of the matter, the sooner I get the response, I can also as well send to the member.
Honorable Mwago, is it on the same?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to join my colleague and my neighbor from Mathare constituency in seeking for a clear statement from the concerned committee, because there have been increased cases of abductions in Nairobi, and you know the volatile nature of Nairobi, which has caused protests that have led even to death of one person, and the youth are still protesting. They are demanding for the release of Zizu and the other people who are missing. So we'd like the Interior, the Administration and Interior Security Ministry to actually tell us what's going on and produce those people so that we can mitigate more deaths, because people are still protesting, people are still very angry on the ground. Given the nature of Nairobi as of now,
you have made your point.
We don't really need.
You have made your point, Honorable Mwago, because this was Honorable Oluoche's statement. And I think, Honorable Tongoyo, yesterday, you indicated that the meeting you were to have with the CS and the security organs did not kick off. So these are some of the issues you can do a global view about. But on this specific one, you'll give the response the first week on resumption. But if you get that response before, during the recess, share with Honorable Tom Oluoch. Next statement, Mwago.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to seek a statement from regarding the perennial fires at Gikomba Market. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding status of investigations into perennial fires at Gikomba Market. Honorable Speaker, on the 21st June 2026, a fire broke out at Gikomba Market, resulting in the deaths of at least 2 people, injuries to several persons, and the destruction of property worth millions or rather billions of shillings at Gikomba Market. Gikomba Market has suffered numerous devastating fires over the years, including incidents in 2015, 2018, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024, and twice in 2025, and the recent one that broke out in 2026, with each incident causing extensive destruction to businesses and livelihoods. Despite investigations and assurances by the government that measures would be implemented to address the root causes of the fires, the market continues to experience the recurring fires. Previous investigations have attributed some of the fires to faulty electrical installations within the market. However, reports emerging from the latest incident indicate that there was no electricity in the affected section at the time of the fire broke out, raising concerns regarding the actual causes of the recurring incidents. The frequency and circumstances surrounding the fires have raised public concern and suspicion that some of the incidents may possibly indicate arson. Honorable Speaker, it is again in this background that I seek a request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. A, the status of investigations into the fire that occurred at Gikomba Market on the 21st June 2026, including whether any evidence has been established regarding possible criminal activity, including arson. The findings and recommendations of the previous investigations into the fires that have occurred at Gikomba over the years, and the extent to which those recommendations have been implemented. Measures being taken by the government to permanently address the recurring fires at Gikomba Market, and plans by the government to compensate the families of the victim and the affected traders, and to facilitate restoration of business operations within. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tongoyo, again, this goes to you. Also note that this is not the first time this issue of Gikomba has come to the floor. It has come over and over. It's a recurrent issue. So as you seek the statement, you seek to address the recurrence of this incident.
Obliged Speaker, but it's also important to note that majority, like what happens in these markets, there are shared functions. Actually, majority of markets are being run by the county governments. So it may be something that may need a concurrent or by also the county governments on the matters, mitigations, and long-term solution to this.
When do you bring the response?
I can do the first week on resumption.
And remember, under Article 125 of the Constitution, you can seek an answer from anyone, including the county government.
It's true. Yeah, well, yeah.
Thank you. So first week on resumption, Mwago.
Okay, to add on to what the chair has said, this issue of Gikomba fire, as much as it falls under the county government, has always been brought to the national government attention, and the president of the country has even gone to Gikomba and addressed it. And there was one time he advised that the land should be gazetted and a title deed issued. That has not been forthcoming. He actually...
Honorable Mwago, you've already made your point. I have ruled on when this should be done. I have guided the chair on Article 125, Article 189 on cooperation of the 2 levels of government, ensure that we get this to the floor of this house. Then when the response comes, we can indulge on further questions if it is not sufficient.
House. Because
we have already heard you, Honorable Mwago. Honorable Mwago, you are properly in your place to bring it on this floor. So, Honorable Tongoyo, you'll bring the response the first week. And the Honorable member, including other members, are free to actually now indulge with that statement, whatever you'll bring on the floor. Next request is by Honorable Tonui, member for Kuresoi South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the prolonged delay in the repair and replacement of faulty electricity transformers in Kuresoi South constituency. Honorable Speaker, access to reliable electricity is essential for economic development, education, healthcare, and the general well-being of citizens. However, communities in several parts of Kuresoi South constituency have experienced prolonged power outages due to faulty transformers that have remained unrepaired and replaced for extended periods of time, despite the matter having been reported to the relevant authorities. The affected transformers includes Kabongoi Primary School, Kamwarot Secondary School, Chebara Secondary School, Timbualo, Trigoi, Chenuko, Cabrengero, Gorova, Lendang transformers. It is reported that some of these transformers were declared faulty and reported for repair and replacement more than 2 years ago, while others have remained non-functional for periods ranging between 6 months and 1 year. Consequently, households, schools, business, health facilities, and other electricity consumers within the affected areas have endured prolonged interruptions in power supply, adversely affecting livelihoods, learning, service delivery, and economic activities. Speaker, it is against this background that I request a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Energy on the following. Number one, a report on the state of transformers serving Kambongoi Primary, Kabungorot Secondary, Timbualo, Trigoi, Chenugu, Gorova, Leldan, Chebara, including the dates when the faults of transformers were reported and the action taken to date. Number two, that have contributed to the prolonged delay in repairing or replacing faulty transformers, particularly those that have remained non-functional for more than 2 years. Number three, measures put in place by the ministry and the relevant agencies to restore electricity supply to the affected areas and the timelines for the repair or replacement of the faulty transformers. And number four, long-term measures being implemented to improve maintenance, reduce response time for transformer failures, and ensure reliable electricity supply to consumers in Kuresoi South constituency and other affected areas across the country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very thorny issue, not just in Kuresoi. You want to ride on it, Honorable Toroitich?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue raised by Honorable Tonoi cuts across. Honorable Speaker, KPLC must ensure that their transformers are maintained occasionally. Honorable Speaker, they usually take transformers and they take a very long period of time to replace or to repair the same. So, Honourable Speaker, this is an issue that this House must take seriously so that KPLC addresses that issue with finality. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Sunguli.
Madam Speaker, that statement is very important, especially the fourth matter that the Honourable Member raised. I think myself that the ministry needs to come and address us on what is the quality of transformers they are giving to us nowadays. And this planting of those posts onto the ground, is that really being done professionally? Why are they falling down everywhere? And they don't have a mechanism for putting them in place. So I think we really must take this statement very crucially and have the minister himself come and address us on these issues.
Haji.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a very important and it cuts across almost the whole country. The generator that serves the constituency became faulty, and they brought it to Nairobi, kept it here for 1 month, took it back. After 2 days, they said, oh, the fault has not been rectified. They brought it back to Nairobi, and I'm told for the last now 1 week, it's on the way from here to Nairobi. We normally take 2 days. But this now is a critical issue. Kenya Power Lightning Company, I think, needs to up its game. And the issue of monopoly, I think this House should look at the issue of monopoly of Kenya Power. We should have a competitor like Kenya Power. When you used to have telephones only from Telecom, we used to have serious issues. But when it came to Airtel and all these, the issue was solved naturally. And therefore, I request this House to look at ways and means of ending this monopoly. Otherwise, this issue will not end. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Wajir West, you are in your place and you can start that debate. It is
very good. I'll start the process.
Honourable Pareyo.
Okay.
Honourable Pareyo, we keep it short because this statement's time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to ride on this issue of transformers. I tend to think that it was only happening in my constituency. But we have a problem with the transformers. One, when these people install these transformers, you try to tell them to install a transformer where there is security. They install a transformer where there is no security, the following day it is gone. And ordinary people cannot remove a transformer from where it is because they fear electricity. So I tend to think that there is an issue or a problem that is going on between these people who install these transformers. And then there's transformers they install wherever they install. It's like they bring it today, it's not working, and they claim that, yeah, we did that, we brought a transformer there, but the transformers they are installing are not working.
Honourable members, we keep it short. You have made your point, Honourable Agnes. Member for Nyando, I want to bring this to a close. No, your mic is not okay.
Oh yeah, this is better. Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is true that we have problems with the transformers. This may also have a direct link with the tendering processes and those who win these tenders to bring transformers into the country, Madam Speaker. The quality of the transformers need to be properly checked. This morning, Madam Speaker, unfortunately, in my Ahero market within Nyando constituency, there was an inferno early this morning. 3 shops were burnt down together with all the goods, items that are being sold in it. And this is attributed to faulty power lines, Madam Speaker. So, whereas we have problems with the transformers that probably get damaged and we have to wait forever, they also pose great risk to the lives of the Kenyan population, Madam Speaker. Finally, a long time ago, we used to have transformers that could outlive live that could last longer. But we don't know what is happening, Madam Speaker, currently. People who are crooks have also opening those transformers and siphoning some oil within those transformers. We don't know what they're used for. So the quality of transformers must be at the core of our consideration moving into the future.
I do not be the chair of the Energy Committee, that is Honorable Gikaria. The deputy, any member of that committee? Because when I listen, I think Honorable Sunkuli actually spoke to the main issue, because, and this affects all of us. In fact, Honorable, I was actually starting to think it is a Nakuru problem. Just yesterday, I was following some from Gilgil, Shokereria, Karunga, Kambiturkana. I think every member here has to keep calling to find out about these transformers. And I think there's a bigger problem. So, Honorable Wako, because I see you, I do not see the leadership of the committee. This is a matter that is very urgent and it should be responded to not just for Nakuru, but across the country. Even members still want to say something and it's the same thing, because I think members have to come to those KPLC offices begging for these transformers to come. The issue of the quality is another issue, because they fail. It's installed, after a month it is out. It doesn't make sense. So I hope that you can relay that to the committee. Honorable Wako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will do that, and I'm sure the committee will give it all the attention it deserves. This is a case that is affecting most of us in many of our counties. That is what we are experiencing. And I think we should have serious discussion with KPLC, and the committee should give us proper response. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I am told there is a member of the committee. You have something to say, Honorable Ndege?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to take the responsibility to report back to the committee and at the same time inform the House that we had a round of checks on our transformers, and we realized there are thousands of faulty transformers dumped somewhere here in Ruiru, which is a confirmation that the quality is an issue and we need to look deeper. Supplies. I'll consult with my chair and
we expect the statement
the first week
on resumption.
Yes.
And honorable members, be here to statement. If it is not sufficient, we cause the CS to appear here to deal with that issue. Very well. Next order.
Order number 8, the Kenya Information and Communications Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2025. First reading. For an act of Parliament to amend the Kenya Information and Communications Act. Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
Members, we are in the full House to Amendment Bill number 25 of 2020. Clause. I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Doesn't have amendments. Does it? There's a move. It's moving. Well, the owner of this, is it or not? All right.
Yes. Madam, to move the amendment in clause 2 as appearing in paragraph A, B, and C. And the justification is that we wanted removal of the the county executive level. When you're introducing we do then of course progressively to that, when now you set them in the plenary of the county assembly, where now they to set the committee to investigate the conduct, and to that to remove, so that the county assembly members cannot be of course jeopardizing their role of oversight role, Madam Chair.
Very well. I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Chair, Administration Committee. Honorable Toroitich, kindly use the intervention if you want to speak on any amendment.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, the proposal under the proposed, first of all, Honorable Speaker, this is a Senate bill. And there was wisdom in trying to amend the provision that currently provides that the requirement for to initiate the process of removing a CC is a third of the members of the county assembly. Honorable Chair, we proposed to 2/3, to increase that threshold to 2/3. Honorable Speaker, this committee has reduced to a quarter. Honorable Speaker, if I give an example, if a county assembly has 30 members of the county assembly, the current provision as it is under the county government is you need a third. A third of 30 is 10. Honorable Speaker, we propose to increase to 2/3. 2/3 of 30, 20. Honorable Speaker, this committee has further reduced the process to initiate removal of a CEC to a quarter, to 8, if it is 30. A quarter of 30 is 7.5, that is equivalent to 8. Honorable Speaker, in my opinion, this lowering of this threshold would be subject to abuse. Honorable Speaker, would bring instability in county governments, would initiate arbitrary removal of CECs. Honorable Speaker, CECs will be removed politically motivated grounds. So, Honorable Speaker, I do not respectfully agree with the proposed amendment by the committee. In any case, at the worst case, Honorable Speaker, let us retain what it was.
Honorable Toroitich, you are the co-sponsor of this bill.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Your intent was to retain it as?
No, my intent, Honorable Speaker, was to increase
from
the threshold from a third to 2/3.
Yes.
But this committee has further reduced it to a quarter, which defeats the very purpose and the intent of the proposed amendment.
Sunkuli?
I personally really do not attach too much importance to the office of the CCs. I think this is one of the offices where the taxpayer is spending a lot of money for nothing. And Madam Speaker, the lower the threshold, in my opinion, the better, because they do not serve any important purpose in the running of the county.
Honorable members, are you saying the CECs are not useful in the counties? Honorable Nikal, that is a very serious submission.
Chair, I this amendment of reducing it to a quarter, I think I'm more agreeable with what it was 1/3. Again, 2/3 was making it too high to the extent that now it would be impossible. But I think a third is more reasonable. And it is important to remember that when you deal with people in executive positions being oversight by politicians, they are vulnerable. And many times they are actually technical people. And what technical people do when they feel threatened is actually refuse to act or let things go wrong. They are quite clear this thing is not going to work, But if that is what the politician want, let it be. So I think there is need to actually support them. So mine would be actually to propose, if it's possible, to do further amendment, because to post this, then it goes to 2/3 where it was, which I think is too high. I would propose that if the mover is put it back to 1/3 where it was.
Honorable Nyikal, you have actually touched on the issue. If this amendment is lost, the one that takes it to a quarter, we revert back to the way the bill is worded to 2/3, not 1/3. The 1/3 is no longer there because the bill is amending to 2/3. So, honorable members, you will now debate between keeping it at 2/3 or to a quarter, not a third. Honorable Nyamai? Yes, Honorable Nyikal. Hold on, Nyamai.
It is possible that if the mover is willing, they can do a further amendment and now bring the 1/3.
Your mic is lost.
Now it is
Yes,
back.
it's back.
It's possible we can do and bring it to 1/3. What you have done, it was 2. Then we said, let's bring it to 1/3. And what we did now is say we reduce it to a quarter. Now, if you reject a quarter, you actually now go back to the 2/3. So the whole thing is lost. So me, I'm proposing
Honorable Member for Seme,
yes.
The initial bill has 1/3.
Yes.
The proposed amendment has busting it to 2/3. But the proposed amendment by Honorable Tongoyo takes it to a quarter to introduce. So 1/3 is no longer there. Yeah. Unless it's a further amendment.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking for a further amendment from Honorable Tongoyo from a quarter to 2/3. Actually just takes us back to where we are. But the way, if we now defeat this bill, then we just now go back to 2/3. So I think 1/3 as was proposed in the proposed amendment is actually the best.
Honorable Nyamai?
Chair, I would like to request the mover to agree with 2/3. And also knowing that governors start very well with this, and then midway, because of politics, because of other interests that we would not want to discuss here, things change, and someone may be forced to act contrary to the law. So I would like to ask the Honorable Tongoyo if he can stick to 2/3. Thank you.
Well, Nyati, in this?
I stand to support 2/3. We know which hunting, which do happen at the county level. And if we lower this one, no work will happen down there. And blackmail will be the order of the day. So I support 2/3.
Kajwang?
Must be consistent. 2/3 is not known to law, except everywhere you look, even for women representative or gender equity or composition of the House, you can't reach 2/3. You can't, there's no office anywhere. There is no law, I can tell you, which requires that people should have a threshold of, and so it's impossible. Just making it impossible to supervise these people. Something which is reasonable, but we want the governors to joke with these people, but yet something which we can supervise. So, Honorable Tongoyo, Honorable Nyikal has given you the way. Give an amendment which is reasonable.
Honorable Member, understanding, Honorable Toroitich, this threshold is not for the final vote removal. It is for the initiation of the process to remove. Because I think we are confusing the two, because there is a further section that speaks to which we have already said the national laws of a CS, of a president, a deputy president, to be a 2/3. But the initial supporting, that is the issue we are debating. Okay. Yes, Honorable Tongoyo, before I put the question.
Madam Chair, I think you actually, members are losing the point. We are trying to, if you look there further down, B and C, it progressively now state that after introducing, you are just initiating the issue of impeachment, we make it one that to make it easy and possible, because these CCs are doing oversight. And mark you, that is exactly what is happening in this House. When you want to introduce the issue of impeachment of a minister, you require the same ratio. Now, when you go now to the plenary of the Assembly, we make it to that. So now that is now where the debates come, reasons come in, and impeachment goes also to do that. So this is a well-thought amendment that it should be easy to introduce, and voting now we take the threshold.
So which one are you now saying?
Yeah, we remain at a quarter. That is exactly what happens even in National Assembly.
Yes, Nika.
Where is this?
You use the other mic. I don't know, it's a roving microphone.
It's a roving. Madam Chair, I actually agree, but I'm actually calling for a midway. If we go with this and just say yes or no, then what we're dealing with is a quarter and 2/3. Now, what I'm saying is that what the original law was actually a third. Me, for initiation, I think a third is actually proper. Now, what Honorable Kutongoy would have to do is then say, I do further amendments, and instead of a quarter, say a third. I know it just takes us back to where it was, but I think that's when we come to actual removal, I support 2/3. So that one we don't touch. But initiation, if you just make it a quarter, officers will not work. Some of us have been in these positions. When you feel worried, you just don't. A technical person who is worried is a very dangerous person. So further make it 1/3 instead of a quarter is what Honorable Putungoyo can help us with.
Unless we do a further amendment. Honorable Toritich.
Speaker. The current statute as it is provides the process to initiate the number required is a third under the current law, the current County Governments Act, Section 40. Honorable Speaker, I had proposed to increase the threshold to 2/3, but the committee has proposed a quarter, which, Honorable Chair, reduces the number further required to initiate removing a CC. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I propose a further amendment to have the required to introduce the impeachment of a county executive committee member to a third. To initiate the process of removal of a county executive committee member to a third.
Honorable Toritich, but what you are amending actually is not the way it is worded. Because in this amendment, we are saying in subsection 2, you cannot say we are amending the threshold to remove a CC. It must be written properly to be accepted as a further amendment, and you must sign it. Honorable members, I know we are wrapping our heads around. Maybe hear the very good from Monica, but if you ask which strikes out majority to there will be no not defeat. You cannot say defeated because this is an amendment. Hata withdraw itabaki aje. It has to be his amendment that is withdrawn on the bill. Which amendment? Which one? So, B goes. To write it. Yes, Honorable Kajwang.
Probably I will defeat that amendment, and then we go paragraph by paragraph, so that when we come to C, we approve it. Simple. Yeah. Either he withdraws or we defeat it, and when we come to it, it will be the same thing.
Because what chairperson for national security, Honorable Tongoyo's amendment, is amending A to substitute, which majority of you don't agree with. It is also amending B by deleting it, and it is deleting C. Yes.
I know it is very simple, Madam Chair. The only point of departure here is one, is introducing, when you're initiating the motion of impeachment, and Madam Chair and my colleagues, we wanted it to mirror exactly what, so that it does not become almost impossible for these MCAs to do their oversight. Of course, when it comes to the plenary, traditionally it sets the committee to investigate, which now they take the threshold to 2/3. Of course, it will cutting, which you will put it at 2/3. And largely, what we are the point of departure here, the proposal of the motion wanted to make it very hard. Threshold of 2/3, make it almost for an MCA to get that number. And I think I hear what Nikal was saying. We can take it to 1/3, which is what it is under the current laws.
But also realize,
if you are comfortable with that one, it is the option.
Honorable Tongoyo,
yes.
Honorable Tongoyo, Honorable Toroiti on this floor. What he has is the bill.
Is the bill.
And he cannot purportedly withdraw the bill unless you drop the bill. Yes. You amendments on the so only honorable members debate on the amendment by Honorable Tongoyo in relation to the bill as moved by Toroitich. And Honorable Toroitich's bill is 2/3. Honorable Tongoyo's is a quarter. Very well. I think we have spent enough this.
It is posterity.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if we spend a day just doing this, is still important. You see, if everything goes as it is, then what is going to happen is the initiation will drop to a quarter. Now,
yes, instead of 2/3.
Yeah, removing is 2/3. So all for Honorable Tongoyo to do is amend A only. Further amendment on A and replace 1/4 by a third. Now, if it does that, what comes eventually in that is that what has been actually increased is been taken to 2/3, and that I agree with. But the initiation, you don't make initiation too low. People will make it a joke. So Honorable Tongo has got agrees means A only. Then we call, as Honorable Kajuang has said, we do A, we do B, we do C separately. Then we'll support B and C, but then A as amended. Yeah.
Honorable members, have we crossed the divide? The reason I've actually allowed enough time is because this law is not just about this time. It is a posterity law. And the last 13 years of the county government has also taught us a lot, and it's very proper to refine the laws, setting up the operations at the county level. Toroitich.
Honorable Speaker, bearing in mind that I have listened to the wisdom of the honorable members, Honorable Speaker, is it possible, understanding order 1, we have a further engagement on this particular bill so that the bill can be recommitted back?
Honorable members, I think we've spent almost 30 or so minutes already debating this. It will be very unfortunate for this bill to go back, yet it is a very simple amendment. Honorable Tongoyo, if you ask me, to go back will be having wasted the time of this house, so to say. I actually implore on you to ensure that we deal with it because we've already taken so much time on it. Yeah.
Because I can see Nikal and learned senior counsel there, the Chief Justice. Members, there is nothing wrong or extraordinary. There is wrong to make it easy to introduce and make it high threshold when you the real issue of looking the merit and demerit impeachment. And I think I had made it clear to the House that we wanted exactly to National Assembly, which is at a quarter, then progressively we implore the House to accept the amendment so that we progress and move forward. There is nothing that holds anywhere in this House feel fit to reintroduce any amendment that may be considered necessary, Madam Chair, so that at least we move forward. We support the committee position so that there's nothing hold this House. The House is going to be there into the future as well.
Moroidhania, without introducing a new angle, go ahead, member for Buri.
You know, this bill that has been brought forward by my very good friend, Mr. Rotich, stands to fail totally if we don't take some action. And the only opportunity that we have is amending as proposed by the chair of Internal Security Committee. Madam Chair, we cannot make it very easy to remove all My opinion is that we move and align it with the National Assembly procedure, meaning that we take the 1/4 and then we delete section B and C. Because if we don't do it, then the 2/3, which also might be impossible to introduce, and it will defeat the purpose of impeachment. So I suggest that we proceed and enact with the National Assembly and the Council, and indicating that in law the 2/3 does not exist. So we cannot really put an illegality. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable members, I want us to make progress. Yes, Honorable Kajwang.
Chair, thank you so much for indulging us, because we are making law for posterity, and this is an important thing. We have agreed as it is. The law is a third.
Yes.
And so Honorable Timothy was raising it. And also Honorable Tongoyo was also talking about initiation, but there is also something in B, which is formation of committee. So what we are generating consensus about is to defeat Honorable Timothy's amendment, so that we go back and also defeat Honorable Tongoyo's amendment on B only. Go back to the Act. So it is a third, and accept Honorable Tongoyo's amendment on C, which is 2/3. So you initiate 1/3. You committee 1/3. Then if you want to accept or remove these people, 2/3.
So, honorable members, we will therefore prosecute each part independently. And honorable members, check the amendments on the order paper. Those are the ones by Honorable Tongoyo. In the order paper, he proposes that clause 2 be amended A by deleting 2/3, substituting with a quarter. That is one amendment. B by deleting paragraph B, all of it. That's another proposed amendment. And by deleting paragraph C. So, honorable members, because we have had that debate, allow me then to propose the question that clause 2A be amended as proposed by. I now put the question that clause 2A be amended as proposed by Honorable Tongoyo. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. Before the global question, we go to 2B.
Clause 2B.
Honorable Tongoyo.
I'm sorry, it will look a bit confusing. If we defeat this amendment, it will take us back toward the proposal of the bill intended. No, don't, I'm talking, you're not the chair. If we defeat this, it means we revert to do that to introduce it, which makes it almost completely impossible.
In fact, Honorable Tongoyo, you are totally in order because each honorable members, as I had said, has no amendment. We therefore go to the global question of that 2A be part of the bill. Then if you make a decision to defeat that, then you'll revert back to 1/3. But if you accept, it goes back to 2/3. So, honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2A as amended I now put the question that clause 2A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? Have it. Read it out.
Clause 2B.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 2B be amended and deleted as proposed by the chair. Honorable Tongoyo. No debate, no intent on debate. I put the question that clause 2B be deleted as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The next. I now put the question that clause 2B be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it.
Clause 2C.
I propose the question that clause 2C be deleted as proposed by the chair. Honorable Toroitich.
Chair. C, no, Chair, it has to be very clear. C provides that the final resolution to remove a county CEC member, the final, under the current law as it is, Section 40, provides for a simple majority. I have proposed it to a 2/3. The committee has taken us back and said we delete our proposal of 2/3 and we retain a simple majority. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I pray that my proposal is sustained so that we have a new.
Very well.
Yes, our amendment goes through of 2/3.
Honorable, members, Honorable Troitich is right, because his bill is to take it to a 2/3, which we are in agreement if I hear Honorable Tongoyo. So, honorable members, I therefore put the question that clause 2C be deleted as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. I now put the question that clause 2C be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I know this is confusing, but the import of it, honorable members, is that we have taken the threshold of the actual removal by your aye remains as proposed by the member for Marakwet West, which is 2/3. So it is in order, honorable members. Yeah. Honorable members, allow me to put the global question that clause 2 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
Honorable members, I propose that the title be the title of the bill. I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. No amendment. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, we have come to the end of that committee. Mover to move reporting. Honorable Tongoyo. Troitich, are you ready? And they have defeated your division. So it stays the way it is on the bill. Honorable members, I do not know why we are a bit confused, because Honorable Toroi teaches is the bill the way it is. The moment the deletion has been defeated, we revert to his bill, which goes to 2/3. I do not see the confusion, Honorable. Are you ready to move reporting?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have now agreed, and Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, and its approval, therefore, with amendments. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and I also request.
You are moving reporting. Honorable Toritich, you have already moved reporting. I therefore put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, we are still in the committee. But before the start of the next bill, allow me to recognize a delegation from the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China. Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation from the 14th National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, who are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. They are, number one, Honorable Lu Xinshe, member of the National People's Congress, NPC, Standing Committee and Chairman of the Environmental Protection and Resources Conservation Committee. Kindly stand up if I mention your name. We join to welcome you to this House, or they're in the Speaker's row. Honorable Wang Yi, member of the National People's Congress, NPC, Standing Committee and member of the Environmental Protection and Resource Conservation Committee. Honorable members, the delegation is accompanied by the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Ambassador Guo Haiyan, and the technical team of the committee. They are in the country to further strengthen the long-standing relations between our two parliaments and also hold discussions on matters of environmental protection, renewable energy, sustainable natural resource management, climate change, and green investment. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome them to Parliament and wish them fruitful engagements during their stay in the country. I have been requested by Honorable Shakil to make some statement on the same welcoming note. Honorable Shakil.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Chair at the moment in time. Madam Chair and Madam Speaker, we have a very close relationship with the People's Republic of China. And I'm honored to be the chair of the Kenya-China Parliamentary Friendship Group. We have had a number of engagements, not only in China, but also here. We've had what we call online meetings at the time of COVID, where we are meeting the members of the People's Republic, the People's Congress in China. We had a meeting here. A number of our members of parliament were active in that meeting. It is a great honor to receive the team, and they will be going on to the Masai Mara. They are here to look at some of the environmental aspects that we have and we've put into force. Madam Chair, our relationship with the Chinese People's Party and our relationship with the People's Republic of China is a very strong one, and we have gained a lot, even as a member of Parliament, as members of APNAC, They have been guiding us on the issue of corruption, and we have had a great relationship. Madam Speaker, may I request kindly one indulgence, and we could ask my colleague, she also...
It's not in your place, Honorable Shakil.
I was asking your
You
indulgence.
have made your point.
I'm asking your indulgence.
You have made your point. Honorable
Yes.
Shakil, thank you. I'll give, first of all, Honorable Sunkuli as the former ambassador. Were you in China, Ambassador? Make a very quick statement, 1 minute.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, I would like to welcome the members of the National People's Congress, the NPC of the People's Republic of China, where I served as ambassador. The NPC is the highest political organ in the People's Republic of China, and it's the equivalent of our parliament. And we had great relationships with them, together with the Communist Party, and they have been foundational to the development of our country in the last 10 to 12 years. And we want to welcome them to feel at home. And I'm glad that my constituency, or the Great Masai Mara, is one of their destinations. And I hope that many, many more Chinese people will continue making Kenya a destination, both for business as well as for tourism.
Very well. Honorable Nyamai, honorable members, we keep it short.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the reason as to why the Honorable Shakil was asking is because we traveled together. I represented the Speaker of the National Assembly, and the Honorable Shakil was the leader of the team because as the chair of the Kenya-China Friendship Group. I would like to welcome the high-level delegation and say that it's a delegation that is extremely important for us as Parliament and as a country. We value the treatment and the exposure that you give members of Parliament when we visit, and we would like this to continue, and we encourage you to always start with any new Parliament that comes so that Kenya and China can continue benefiting from the relationship within our parliaments. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Finally, Osoro on this. Honorable Osoro.
Okay. I think I have two mics, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair.
That tells you do not come with your card. That's why it's roving.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That is true. Honorable Chair, thank you very much. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome the high-level delegation from China and inform them that China and Kenya share a very cordial relationship, both on matters development of our region and also, sharing matters politics. Honorable Chair, when the government of Kenya partnered or opted to partner or face towards the east, Kenya, since the government of Kenya opted to focus towards the east and even west, Honorable Speaker, you'll notice that there has been tremendous growth in the country in terms of development. And I'm happy today, as a person who is an advocate of the environmental matters, Honorable Speaker, to hear that their interest is largely on the line of the climate change, when the country and the world is focusing on the, green energy and other matters, Honorable Speaker, that are very important to our health. But of importance to inform them this morning, they may have noticed that there are several seats that are empty here, Honorable Chair. But it's because today, being a Wednesday, is usually a private members' bill day, and members of Parliament also hold sittings or committees in various, departments. So many of our members are also legislating in their committees, in their committee rooms. But those of us who are not in some of those committees this morning are here to legislate also for the private members' bill, and that is why they sit in the House this way. So, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, and I welcome them. Thank you.
Karibuni Kenya. Honorable members, we are now in the committee of the whole House for the Basic Education Amendment Bill, sponsored by Honorable Tom Oluoch, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that Clause 3 be part of the bill. There is a proposed amendment by the Chairperson Education Committee. Therefore, honorable members, I will treat clause 3 as though it has no amendment, because the mover is not in the House. Yes, the committee. Honorable members have been requested to defer this amendment. We'll go to ignore the departmental committee. My proposal is we defer the whole committee.
Defer the committee and proceed. Apparently, not even a single member of the committee, which is very strange.
Yeah. Kuna amendments mob sana. We also cannot ignore the committee always. Itaenda ile activism input ya serikali. Honorable members, there seems to be a bit of consultations that needs to go into. So allow me to defer this committee until the next appointed time of consideration. We'll do.
Chair, Committee of the Whole House, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the County Government Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
The mover? Mover of the bill?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the Committee on Report. I also request the Honorable TJ Kajwang to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the... I now put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now call upon the mover to move third reading.
Speaker, I beg to move that the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, be now read. Honorable Speaker, I also request the Honorable TJ Kajwang to second.
Honorable
Madam Speaker, I wish to second the third reading. Madam Speaker, we had an instance when we had to consult across the House, and at the end of the day, Honorable Timothy was gracious enough to understand where we were going, but also Honorable Tongoyo and the member from Meru were very in our minds. One thing to my mind, age is gold, and being around is a good thing. I'm asking Honorable Timothy to come back the third term, and I'm sure he's going to come, the second term, and I'm sure he's going to come. When he will come, these issues will be very clear. And I also ask those who are watching, some of us who are third termers should be given fourth term or fifth terms. Because investing in this House is gold, and it comes with age. And I second. I second, and it's not in my place, but Honorable is itching next to me here. I'm sure you do.
Jang, you are a trained speaker. You're actually a trained speaker. But let me just say that I am going to allow the Honorable Nyikal to make a comment. You know all the rules, and I know that you know that you shouldn't have done that. On the Honorable Nyikal to make
propose.
What? Before I give you a point of order, can I first of all propose? First, I now propose the question that the County Government Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, be now read a third time. Honorable Dr. Nyika.
Madam Speaker.
And please don't talk about the fourth term like your colleague did.
Well, it's almost obvious, but let's leave it at that. A very important amendment we have done. The position of counties of people have wondered whether they are functioning or not, but I think it is important that they feel. What I know, the power play between politics and the executive has to be looked at very carefully. So when appointed positions feel unstable, they don't work well. Even if they know things are going to go wrong, they let it go wrong because they are afraid for the positions they are holding. Therefore, this is a good amendment that actually makes that position feel a little wrong, unstable, but also still gives the county assemblies the authority with a little bit of effort to actually sanction them when necessary. So this is an important, and I support in the third reading.
Thank you. Ambassador, please proceed.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, I support the third reading, but I hope that in the near future, the Senate will come up with more amendments to actually get rid of redundant. I personally do not believe that we need both the CEC and the CEO and all these positions. We are using taxpayers' money to name people with big names, and yet they do not have abilities. I hope that these amendments will come, and I can see that my colleague from Nandi is actually having her hands up because very soon she'll be a governor. But, Madam Speaker, she will find officers are not useful.
The Honorable Mother Wangari, who has also ably chaired the third reading of this bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, this has been very engaging because it is not just about this time. Since the introduction of devolution, a lot has changed, but the one thing remained constant, Madam Speaker, that we are dealing with is the wage bill. Madam Speaker, we take money and billions to the counties, and when you go to a funeral, a governor has 2/10 of people attending a funeral. They don't even know who is being buried, Madam Speaker. Then accompanied by 20 vehicles of the county. And Madam Speaker, that then makes sure that when you go around the constituencies, you do not see the money that we have ably appropriated in this house. And Madam Speaker, the other issue that we are dealing with is the issue of governors wanting to be senators and senators wanting to be governors. I know we do not want to talk about it, Madam Speaker, but it is eating into how things are being run at the county level. And I hope that we can bring, the Senate can bring some more progressive laws, including what NGCDF has done. Can we appropriate this money and say 30% goes to health, 30% goes to ECDs, goes to polytechnics? Madam Speaker, that way we'll be able to look at the amount of money that is going vis-a-vis the work that is being done by the county government. But I agree with Honorable Sunkuli that the bulge at the workforce must be dealt with at the counties. Otherwise, we'll just have so many people in the county level that you do not know even what they do, but the work they churn out and the output is almost negligible. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Soro, the whip of the majority party.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know why today. What is happening here?
Honorable Soro, you know the reason as to why we are struggling to trace you. You know the reason. The table office is struggling to trace you, so you know the reason, okay?
Well guided, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to join in this debate and support this third reading of this amendment, Honorable Speaker. Several years post the 2010 Constitution, I think it's about time that we also review what works and what doesn't work, especially matters that pertain the county government, Honorable Speaker. You know, just like the Honorable Mother has said, the ballooning wage bill in the county governments is a challenge here, Honorable Speaker. That you send a lot of billions to the counties, but 90% of it goes to the wage bill. When you talk about the CECs and the CEOs, you forget the fact that those CECs and the chief officers, each of them has been allocated a driver, a PA, I think somebody to carry a handkerchief, another one to carry I don't know what, you know. And without roles well defined, a chief officer has got about 10 officers behind him or her. A CEC has got about 15 officers. And by the way, going to the nitty-gritties of the operations within the county government, you realize, Honorable Speaker, that even CECs have no role. Governors engage the chief officers directly because they are accounting officers. So the CEC's role is limited to reading newspapers from page 1 to obituary, Honorable Speaker, every day in the office, and called upon to accompany the county governors to functions. And that is why you see in the functions of the county governors, the very tent that you see that shouts, you know, with ululation and clapping for the governor, 90% of them are county government workers. It has nothing to do with the public. All those seats that you see in front there and people clapping in suits, well-dressed suits, designer suits, very smartly dressed ladies. All those seats in front there, and gentlemen, all of them, I'm being guided by Honorable Cynthia who wants to be governor, but all of them sitting in front there, Honorable Speaker, clapping for whatever the governor says. If he laughs in his speech or her speech, they will clap, because that is the limitation of their role. Honorable Speaker, I am on record in this. I was having said, Honorable Speaker, that you send billions to a county, but you'll need a microscope to see what they do. Unlike what you send to the constituencies under NGCDF, that is in full glare of everybody to see the classrooms, the bursaries. But what they are doing, Honorable Speaker, is simple PR, and having a crowd that has been hired every time in public functions, and with big names and podiums and big titles, call Your Excellency, Excellency, Excellency. It's about time that we review what works in the 2010 Constitution. And that is why Kenyans to date, Honorable Speaker, and you'll all agree with me, honorable members, that Kenyans today do not know how to differentiate the roles of members of parliament and the roles of the county governors. To date, we are being asked about development. To date, we are being asked about hospitals. To date, we are being asked about matters agriculture. To date. And I mean, across all over, all these places that we lead, Honorable Speaker, because people do not understand that this is supposed to be done by these county governors or the county assemblies because of such, confusion. So it's about time that we review. And that is why, in copying the words of the Honorable Mother Wangare, perhaps it's about time the Senate and even the National Assembly come up with the laws that in division of these revenues that we send to the counties, as we send to, we don't give them an open check like NGCDF. We shouldn't give these county governments an open check that go spend the way you want. We should give them with a vote that this 20% should be doing this job. 30% should be doing this. 50% should be doing this. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, with the open check that we've left them with, I can tell you, and members here can say, 99% of the allocations that we give goes either to their pockets or their proxies' pockets. And sadly, Honorable Speaker, they use it to maintain that seat. They simply use that money. It hardly helps them. You use a lot of money so that when a chief guest comes to your function, say the president, you buy everybody around. So you keep on revolving around. And this is a challenge to any person that wants to be governor. All of us wants to be governors. Today you are here, we are speaking large, we are talking big on resources and everything. When you go to the counties, you realize that perhaps that is the modus operandi. You are being, when you meet your colleagues, what they do, they guide you, they teach you that, if you want to lead, this is how you do it. Beat those people who don't side with you. Have a whole dozen of goons around you. Have a team that cheers you in funerals and functions. And then you find yourself having lost hope. But when you leave office, the world is round. You will suffer because you've spent public resources. You've left mothers and children die in hospitals because of these things that, because of selfishness that we have. So, Honorable Speaker, I feel bad for devolution. We added money here the other day. We gave them 428 billion in this house, Honorable Speaker. But trust me, we need to ask ourselves. We've been giving we started with about 250. So we are at an average of about 200 billion, Honorable Speaker, since devolution started up to now. Ask yourself what 200 billion shillings has done in your counties. Start from here in Nairobi. Just look around. And I'm not really name calling anybody, but just look around Nairobi, where we all live here. We all live here. We all come from estates. Look at the dirty state of our areas. Look at back streets. Look at the way it's disorganized, Honorable Speaker. And, it's not about you are from a member of my party. No, let's speak facts. If you're doing nothing, you're doing nothing. Go to your counties and look. People are suffering, Honorable Speaker. People are suffering. The ECD teachers are suffering, Honorable Speaker. What these people are only doing is PR stands, Honorable Speaker. Get something for small kids in school. Get something for, that is branded your name. And so that it is a sad state of affairs, Honorable Speaker. And it's about time we ask ourselves, do we really have proper laws that bar these people from stealing, Honorable Speaker? With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I call upon this House and even the Senate to review, to look beyond what the amendments that have been brought so that you can be able to have proper laws that will stop thuggery that is in the counties. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
The Honorable Cynthia Muge, member for Nandi County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and allow me to appreciate the Honourable Member for Marakwet East, West, who is very diligent and also progressive, going by the amendment that he has brought to this House in regards to how the counties operate and how the CECs should be operating in the counties. Of course, Honourable Speaker, I support this third reading, and I support the content that is in this third reading. Honourable Speaker, for a very long time, of course, it's on record that I have served at the County Assembly. So serving at the County Assembly, I have also been in a sitting that a CEC has been brought to the County Assembly for impeachment. And Honourable Speaker, I want to echo the sentiments of Honourable TJ, that he clearly said, and Honourable Nyikal, that they clearly said the people who are in office should be able to have some sort of security in their jobs, so that, Honourable Speaker, they can have a good time and a better time in delivering on their mandate. And I honestly do appreciate that, Honourable Speaker, and I support it. Because, Honourable Speaker, if you make it as easy as it was previously before this amendment came in, it would be something that is used for witch hunt. If you're not bowing to my demands, I can be able to marshal a few numbers and you're gone. But making it watertight, Honourable Speaker, I think is good in supporting the issue of devolution and making devolution work. Of course, Honourable Speaker, I also do support the suggestion that the county government and devolution should actually be looked at more deeply. Because, Honourable Speaker, this is also giving us an opportunity to look at this devolution baby, to see if it is actually meeting the milestones that it should be able to meet. And to be honest, Honourable Speaker, like all the members that have spoken before, we are feeling like this baby is not meeting the milestones as they should be able to meet them. And part of the things that should be done is look at the issues and the reasons why this baby is not meeting the milestones. And Honourable Speaker, Honourable Hosoro has spoken passionately about what happens in the county governments. And of course, Honourable Speaker, I want to say that I do agree with him, because I have also seen what happens in there, of course, from the County Assembly of Nandi that I served before. And of course, Honourable Speaker, it is our job, it is our duty to make sure that we are able to support devolution by not killing it, but by enhancing the good things that devolution came with, and by completely killing the bad things that came with devolution. Part of the ways that we are able to kill the bad things that came with devolution is by making sure that we are progressive in amendments of the laws, in amendments of the bills that are actually anchoring devolution altogether. So, Honourable Speaker, I do support this amendment, and I appreciate the Honourable Member, Toroitich, for being this progressive to be able to bring this. And I can assure you, Honourable Speaker, if anyone has a doubt that when I become the governor for Nandi, the third one in 2027, this will happen, they should know that I will not change my ways, and I will make sure that I do the right thing, because I'm a supporter of devolution, and devolution can work. Devolution is actually the God-sent agent for the people of Kenya, so that they can be able to get services from the lowest level, that is the village administration, Honourable Speaker. So I do support this, Honourable Speaker.
Good luck, Honourable Cynthia. Good luck. The Honourable Indikiri will be the last one on this. Members, knowing that this is third reading, so just make quick comments. Don't debate.
Okay.
I allowed Cynthia purposively. I knew how she was going to end. So I was just waiting for her to make the right comments for herself. So please don't take the Cynthia away.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, I was there right from the beginning of this morning, together with the other wise men and women. Madam Speaker, I think this issue of the county management is a thorny issue. Madam Speaker, I look at my county that is going to receive 10.8 billion. And out of that 20.8 billion, 75% will go towards recurrent expenditures, leaving very limited amount for development. Madam Speaker, the governors have turned the management of the counties into something like a private property. And that's how many of them are treating even the employees, CECs, directors, etc. Madam Speaker, it is very unfortunate that we are appropriating 428 billion shillings, but at the end of it all, you can only see about 25% of what that money has done to the counties. Madam Speaker, I agree. Some counties have bloated employment, and they are continuing doing so at the expense of development. So in as much that we are saying yes to devolution, we need to ask the governors to show us the value of the money that we have appropriated to them. And it is not only the money appropriated to them, they also receive donor funds. They also do own corrections. You look, Count of Melo, at the, it will end up by about something like 15 billion. But then when you go to look at the education sector, ECD classes is a problem even to build. You go and look at the health institutions, they're in deplorable state. You go at the roads that they are supposed to be managing, they are in deplorable situation. So you ask yourself, where is this money going? We should not make it easy for governors who have failed to start sacking or impeaching the CECs, etc., because so that they can get an excuse. This aspect of impeachment is not a good thing. But some people are going to make use of it. And that's why the mover was trying to make it very difficult for them. But again, we should not make it very easy for them. We shouldn't. Because some of them will put some of the things, if you can't agree, then you have to be impeached. And you are going to tell you, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, these people will target the people who challenge them in the management. They like sycophants. They don't like people who are professionals, who are ready to work for the counties. So this bill is good.
Thank you.
And it's a warning. It's a warning to some of the governors. And some of us we are seriously thinking either to join Munge or not. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Member for Kibra.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Despite the fact that you had said that was the last speaker, I must be grateful that you have given me this opportunity also to put in one or a few comments. The kind of money that we give to the governors, at this time it was over 428 billion. And some of the counties get almost 15 billion at their disposal. I think in the future, the profile and the kind of governors that we choose, we need to have basic requirements for people to be governors. They are those governors who have never been in any managerial position. They have never been in any public office or any other office to allow them to manage such kind of monies. When we talk about the NGCDF, it has been managed that the MPs now do not have direct control on that money. We need to have clauses within these systems that do not allow the governors to misuse the funds that we give to them. The governors have made this as their personal property. We should not be seen that we are fighting the governors. No. We are looking at service delivery to the people of this country. You will find that some MPs have done better than the governors have done. Yet the governors have been given a colossal sums of money in this country to take care of the needs of the people that they govern. Now, this devolution did not come to benefit a few individuals. The devolution that we fought for in this country was meant to bring service delivery closer to the people of Kenya. I therefore say that this bill, I support it, and I say that we must, as a country, look at the way that we govern our counties. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Dorothy Kiara, nominated member by the UDA party.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to weigh in this bill and say devolution was brought to our country and we overwhelmingly voted for the 2010 Constitution because we thought it is a cure
to the historical injustices in some of our areas. But today, as we stand, Honorable Speaker, it is very evident that devolution has failed. But for this particular bill, it has come in handy because we need to strengthen devolution. The only way that counties will move together as a unit is by strengthening devolution. Madam Speaker,
Honorable members, I encourage you to just take a minute or two. Just make comments. Let's not debate. This is the third reading.
Honorable Speaker, we need to channel our efforts to areas that weaken devolution. And Honorable Speaker, we also need to ensure that the expenditure and the money that goes to the county, we don't spend all of it on recurrent expenditure, which is eating all the money that goes to the county, Honorable Speaker, as opposed to development. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this amendment by Honorable Timothy and say it is our duty and responsibility to ensure that we strengthen devolution. Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Umi Harun.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also contribute to this particular amendment, and I want to congratulate Honorable Timothy. I support this amendment because the drafters of the Constitution had a very good vision when they brought the concept of devolution, but that did not include governors who would twist and corrupt the resources that are available to them. I hope this bill will also not create emboldened CECs, and that it will allow them to do their work diligently. Madam Speaker, I come from a region where devolution has helped in developing so many things, but we still have the problem of corruption. So I hope that this will provide the proper oversight and the support that the CECs need, and that the county assemblies will also be able to do their job very well. So I want to thank the honourable member, and I support this particular amendment. Thank you.
The Honourable Torrey Teach.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I wish to sincerely thank the honourable members who have contributed substantially to this bill, the County Government's Amendment Bill. Honourable Speaker, I wish to thank the Honourable TJ Kajwang, the Honourable Dr. Nyikal, the Honourable Sunkuli, and all the members that have contributed to this, making this bill better. Honourable Speaker, it is my sincere prayer that the people of Marakwet West will give me a second term so that I can bring more bills to this House. Honourable Speaker, thank you so much.
Thank you, Honourable Torrey Teach. Honourable Torrey Teach, you know I've been in this House, this is my third term. And I want to tell you that I've seen you doing something right. And you know the right thing that you have been doing. You continue doing it. I hope the people have seen and they'll give you a second term. Honourable members, before I put the question, I would like to welcome our visitors. Seated in the public gallery this morning, we have students from Providence Academy, from Kasarani constituency, Nairobi County, students from Kageraini Secondary School, Kinangop constituency, Nyandarua County, students from Ngamwa School, Mukurweini constituency, Nyeri County. And also seated in the speakers galleries this morning, we have students from DEB Nkiria School from Wuri constituency, Meru County. I take this opportunity to welcome you to Parliament, and on behalf of Parliament, I would like to ask the member for Wuri to welcome you. I'll also give a chance to the Honourable Kajwang, TJ.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
After him.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all students from the various schools that you have mentioned, and specifically the school of Nkiria, DEB, from Boli West of Boli constituency. Madam Speaker, this school is one of the largest schools that we have in a very remote area of our constituency. And as you can see, they are very determined. It's one of the best performing schools in that region. I want to tell all the students, welcome to Parliament. This is where the laws are made. This is where your member of Parliament sits. This is where we make laws for this country. This is where we make the election on which the government, on how government is going to operate. I want to congratulate all the students who have come and tell them you are going to learn quite a lot. Please don't be on a hurry to learn and to see and to interact with the parliamentary environment. Madam Speaker, this is cool. This is cool. The parent in Kiria Primary School, the parent, the product of their fathers were workers in the forest. And for them to reach here, I think it's a very important occasion for them. So I want to encourage you, please, some of you become members of parliament, some of you become MCAs, some of you become doctors, some of you become engineers. Please work very hard. Finally, please, school is the factory of growth. Don't take advantage of the school to ban the schools, to execute a lot of disciplinary activities. I know this school on Kiria, you are very well disciplined, and we expect to see you through successfully in your life. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those comments are meant for all the schools seated in the public and also in the speaker's gallery. The Honorable Kajwang, I would like to give you an opportunity to welcome students also from Nairobi and the others. But before you continue, I realize that members were wondering why I said that the Honorable TJ is a trained speaker. For your information, in the 11th Parliament, the member for Ruaraka was a member of the speakers panel, and he did a wonderful job. So please go ahead and welcome students.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for those kind words. I was a presiding officer until I blew the whistle. And I've learned all these terms. And I think, Honorable Timothy, you should learn the good things here. Don't blow a whistle. If you blow a whistle on a sitting president, you can be in trouble. Madam Speaker, I want to welcome the children, the young people, the students that are here with us, not just from Kasarani, but from all the counties that are here. This is interesting, the fact that they have opportunity to come and see these elegant members do their things. They will have incentive to work hard and to achieve even more than those of you and I have achieved. I just want you to, when you go back to your schools, geography, science, physics, and chemistry should be your staple food, because you have had all the opportunity to see where things are done. You have no reason to do poorly in your exam. You have all the reason to be energized, to be better than member for Buuri. And so I thank you for having the opportunity to come. And you see, member for Buuri is already wearing a white hat. So aim not for your hair to go that direction, but make sure that you are able to do better than we are doing in this house. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. I would like to say that the Honorable Member, the Honorable Rindikiri Mugambi, is a wonderful, excellent Member of Parliament. So, Honorable Members, I would like now to put the question. You know, I'm seeing someone with hands up, and I do not see any intention to speak from the screen. Go ahead, go ahead. Please trace where he is and give him a mic.
Madam Speaker, I want to take the cue from the Honorable Kajwang. And I want to congratulate the students for coming here. And I want to tell the students who are here, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, but you can connect the dots looking backward. Many years ago, I came to Parliament as a student of Kenyatta University. Little did I know that many years later, I'll be seated right here in the House talking about issues affecting the nation called Kenya. But lastly, students, there's something called stimulus and response. Your business in school is not to beat fellow students. Your business in school, the teachers provide the stimuli, and you are supposed to choose the right response. The right response is to inspire, motivate you to pass exams and build a better country and a better nation. Thank you.
Lastly, the member for Kisii County, the Honorable Doris Donya.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate for the opportunity. Let me tell our children, sometimes you want to be perfect while in school. The school is not where you have to be perfect, but just know if you make mistakes, that is part of learning. It's like saying we have all angels in our churches, then we close down the churches. So don't fear making mistakes. When you live here, know that that is part of learning. Above all, you have to obey your teachers. You pray hard. And to our girls, don't enjoy so much on receiving love letters from the small boys. You will have those letters when you go to university, and the beautiful ones are not yet born. They are there. So don't be in a rush. Hold it. Read your books and know that the future is bright. Thank you.
Lastly, the Honorable Jalango.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. May I also take this opportunity mostly to welcome all the students, and in a special way, the students from Kasarani, Nairobi County. But you hear we have students from all over, as far as Meru, far as Kisumu, wherever you are. Mine is just to tell you that it doesn't matter which school you are in. It doesn't matter that you had to travel to be here today. It doesn't matter how rural a school may be, or how much infrastructure a school might have. From that school where you are, you will be able to be whatever you want in this country. I was a student of a school called Nyangoma Boys Secondary School, P.O. Box 23 Bondo, very far and in the deeps of Nyanza. But here we are. Today I'm representing the people of Langata constituency in Nairobi as their member of parliament. So keep the faith, keep working hard, obey your teachers, your parents, be the best in everything that you're doing. And don't worry where you are from anywhere. Just like Lupita said, every dream is valid. Welcome to Parliament, students.
Thank you. Honorable members, I'll now go ahead and put the question. I therefore put the question, which is that the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, be now read a third time. Will many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the County Government Act to increase the threshold for removal of a member of a county executive committee and for connected purposes.
Next order. Anything out of order, Honorable TJ? What is out of order?
Madam Speaker, something is not right. We came this morning, and in the order paper, there was the committee of the House of the whole with the Senate bill and the Basic Education Act. We finished the committee on the Senate bill, and we entered to begin the Basic Education Act. And when the chair called it out and asked for the mover to move his amendments, the mover was not in. Standing orders would have required us to proceed because the order had been called. Madam Speaker, standing orders would have required that we proceed with business because the order had been called. And so somehow we don't understand what happened. And the presiding chair decided to defer the proceedings. It is very embarrassing on the honor of the bill, Honorable Oluoch. It is very embarrassing that we are all here, we are all prepared, and somehow without following standing orders and the House, something happens. This needs to be explained properly. Number two, where is the chair of education? He can't just decide not to come. If he decides not to come, it means that he has dropped all his amendments. Please, treat us equally. And this is about private members. This House is for private members. We need to pass legislation. We can't have a situation where government throws it all on our voice. Otherwise, we are not able to do legislation. So, Madam Speaker, I call for a reasoned explanation from the presiding chair and why she did not follow the standing orders and why we find ourselves in a very embarrassing position as we are. And two, this matter came before the House Business Committee. And it is the House Business Committee that brought this matter today. So can we do it this afternoon if we are unable to do this morning? And furthermore, the Vice Chair is here. And she's ready and willing to prosecute. Why can't we go to committee so that we finish this matter? I feel very bad. And some of us are from the Upbet constituencies. And we know that government is fighting us. No, Madam Chair, government is fighting us. They don't want Upbet. They just want to do things the way they want. We are forcing them. But we will force them because this is the legislative house.
I think you have made your point. You want to ride on the same? I wanted to respond to him first, and I can give you a chance because this concerns you. Yes. So just take your seat, first of all, because... okay.
Direction on
okay.
This. Madam Speaker, this morning I'm a very embarrassed member of this House. Extremely, extremely embarrassed. This bill is not just coming for the first time. I prosecuted and brought this bill in the 12th Parliament, and it is not out of idle concern that this bill came. The bill concerns and affects close to about 3 million unaccounted for, discriminated, and excluded students. These people you see here sitting are representatives that take the burden that the government should be taking under Article 43 to ensure that every child in the Republic of Kenya is entitled to free, basic, compulsory education. So when this bill came for the second time and went through all the statutory steps, the first reading, public participation, pre-publication scrutiny, we even went before the Budget and Appropriations Committee and considered all the reasons that would require that should be considered that are budgetary. And then it came to the second reading and passed. There should therefore be no reason or explanation. And if there is, it should be given to the 3 million Kenyans as to whether they are children of a lesser God. The House Business Committee, once it is seized of a matter, House business, whether it is government or private members' business, becomes the business of this House. And once it has been brought to the floor of this House, it is no longer the property of Anthony Oluoch, or the property of the chair of the committee, or the property of the Committee of Education. It is the property of this House collectively under Article 95 that enjoins us to resolve issues affecting people. This issue is affecting 3 million Kenyans. And if there's a reason why these children don't belong to this country, we should be told. We should be told. I am a very embarrassed member of parliament this morning that very casually a member of parliament should come prepared to prosecute a matter so serious as this one. They are not children. When you give birth to a child, there is no child of one living in Karen and Langata and another one living in Mathare and Kibera and Ruaraka. They are all children of Kenya. This house owes an apology to the people of Kenya and the people in these constituencies. This matter requires a considered ruling of the Speaker and why and for what reason a matter should be stood down. If a member is not here, it should be dropped. We demand a considered ruling of the Speaker this afternoon and a reinstatement of this matter. These children have been discriminated for how many years? Since the Constitution 2010. One more day of their discrimination, even up to 29th when this matter is being deferred, is a day too long. I am very, very embarrassed today.
You want to weigh on the same? Member for Kibra?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I really didn't want to weigh much after two of my colleagues who are ranked members and they are also lawyers have spoken. But because I represent Kibra constituency, where we have the majority of the upgrade schools in this country. But most importantly, I am also a member of Education Committee. And for this bill to pass the first reading, second reading, this bill came to us in the committee as Education Committee. We went through all the amendments of this bill as a whole committee, and it was unanimously passed by the Education Committee, and that is why it came to the floor of this House. Because it is a money bill, it went to the Budget Committee, which also passed the bill. It went to the Business Committee, and it was now brought for third reading in this House. After it has passed the first reading, second reading, and now the third reading. And this is now a committee of the whole House. Now, this bill now does not belong to Education Committee. The bill now becomes the bill of the House. And as I say, my colleague is very annoyed. We are all annoyed because the procedures are not being followed. When the bill has been called out, then we need to debate and we need to go on with the bill irrespective whether the chairman of the committee is present or not present. I am also a member of the Education Committee and I stand in. When the chairman is not there, the vice chairman is here, we are also here. There is no reason why this should be deferred to a later date. And as my colleagues have said, it needs a weighing decision from the chair so that we know why this bill cannot be. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So, honorable members, I think the three members have made their point. First of all, the honorable chair, the one who was chairing the committee of the whole House, consulted with the Honorable Oluoch before the decision was made. As you may know, the Honorable Oluoch, I've given you your time to speak, and I've also allowed your colleagues to speak. So you need to allow me to speak. That I feel that you are ready to prosecute, and the chair education committee is not in. He is busy in a very important matter that concerns this House. So it is not that he chose not to be here. Number two, this is going to be scheduled again, not this afternoon, but on a Wednesday morning, you know, as per our standing orders. That is standing order number 43, that Wednesday mornings, a bill or a motion not sponsored by the majority or minority party or by a committee shall have precedence over all the other business. So I assure you that this is going to be done again. And also I listened keenly to the Honorable Kajwa, and I think he was also very ready. And I believe that you have also guests in the gallery who are going to also, I mean, they would have been very happy to see this happen. but I'm assuring you that it's going to be done soon as possible. House of Order, this is a House of Records. I know that the Honorable Kajwang also approached the Speaker, saying that we reorder change. And this is a House of Order and House of Procedure. It is not possible to do that at this moment. And I would like to ask you to allow the House to proceed with other business, and this will be scheduled by the House Business Committee in the earliest opportunity possible. So thank you very much, and I would like to call for the next.
Order number 10, the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
But members, there was no one on the floor, so anybody who wants to can continue. And Honorable Julius Ole Sunkuli, member for Kilgoris.
Madam Speaker, I stand to support this bill. Now, the intention of this bill, Madam Speaker, is to amend Section 226. Sorry, there's a bit of too much consultation here. Unfortunately, it's being done in the Luo. So, Madam Speaker, the intention of this bill is to amend 226 of the Penal Code. And Section 226 of the Penal Code says, any person who attempts to kill himself is guilty of misdemeanor. And the intention of the mover is to remove the offense of suicide from our laws. Now, attempted suicide in our laws remains one of the sticky parts because, Madam Speaker, the penal code that we have today in the Kenyan law was inherited from the English law, from what we call as lawyers the common law. That is the law that was left to us by the British to punish crime. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, as soon as even before we got independence, in 1961, or rather, if I may use the United Kingdom, itself abolished the offense of attempted suicide. Actually, under the Suicide Act of 1961, it's no longer a crime in England and Wales to try and kill. That was removed. And I think it is important to know that the purposes that we want to amend this law is so that we can align ourselves to what other civilized countries are doing. The countries that depended on the common law of England included countries like Canada, including countries like Australia. And in those it's no longer a crime to try and commit suicide. Now, a lot of things have been said about it. Why do we want to remove this offense? I know, Madam Speaker, that there are two ways of looking at it. One, that attempted suicide is against the law. Attempted suicide is a religious issue. Churches, like my own church, the Catholic Church, consider that taking life, even your own, is a sin. In England, which I want to refer to, it is still not possible for a person who committed suicide to be given the normal church rights. If you try and kill yourself, if you kill yourself, you don't get a Christian burial. As far as it should go, Madam Speaker, because in reality, the argument we use for the sanctity of life is that it is God-given. And it is important that if you commit an offense against God, we leave the judgment to God himself. There are many things that are actually sins in the Christian religion that do not become crime. For instance, adultery might be punished, but it cannot be under our law. So attempted suicide is one of those things where morality and law might differ. But, Madam Speaker, suicide is an interesting offense because the person who commits suicide is both the culprit as well as the victim. Victim being the person who suffers the loss. So we would like to look at more from the point of view of this person being a victim. And the human rights organizations in Kenya have gone to court. And a judge has already given his judgment that in fact Section 226 is an offense, is against the Constitution, and therefore it should be repealed. And Madam Speaker, this is important to know that even in England, the case of had already proceeded and made it an offense had removed that offense from our books. So in order to with the rest of the world, it is important to remove this as an offense. Now, many people in this house, from the point of view of sympathy, that look, the person who tries to commit suicide is actually guilty, might be guilty of wanting to take his life, but is also a victim of the circumstances of his own brain, of his mental situation. Now, if you want to punish a person who has actually tried to commit murder of himself but has not completed the offense, what should society do? Continue to punish that person, or should we employ some sympathy towards that person? I realize that in our country now, especially from where I come from, when people want to kill themselves, they take deep, the side, Cooper talks, Stelladon, and so on. I think it's quite favorable in to kill yourself. It's the best. I don't know whether it is sweet. I have not tested it. But it is a common thing that we don't say committing suicide. We say somebody has taken deep. And when you look at it, most of it has the root in the problems that people have with society. And as our friend Francis Mbuga says, when the madness of the entire nation has a solitary mind, we should not call the person mad. We must treat them because they have a problem, and instead of punishing them, it is also better that we help them. After all, Madam Speaker, attempted suicide is one of those offenses where attempting is a crime, but the final crime itself is not a crime. Because suicide as such is not a crime. It's only a crime. It's like treason. Treason is only an offense if you don't succeed. But if you succeed, that is no longer a crime. So why should we try and punish a crime that is not successful? We should not do that. Madam Speaker, as I said, the Western countries actually banned attempted suicide as an offense. But of course, we must caution ourselves that the liberalism of the West is a little bit too far. And fortunately for us, because we rely very much on the common law of England, under English law, it is still an offense to induce somebody or to encourage somebody to commit suicide. As you know, in countries like Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands, you can go to a doctor and say to the doctor, I no longer want to live. And they just test your brain if it is working very well. If you do not have a mental problem, they allow you to die. So you choose the date of your death, and you choose the manner of your death, and they give you, and you pay the funeral expenses, and they give you the pill and you die. It's an offense under the law of England, and it should remain an offense under our law. But our law should not lose the grip right now. Let us tell everybody who has tried to commit suicide, let us take them to a good rehabilitation center. Let us try, and as much as possible, to rehabilitate their thinking. Let us tell them that to live in this world is as good is better than they think. And let us tell them that if you do not want to, if you do not want to live what you are in the life you're trying to do now, try and improve. I always tell people when I get to a funeral of a person who has committed suicide, somebody want to die, I think the best thing to do is to take a trip, a long trip. Maybe go to the coast and go get a ship and go and come when you are very tired. But don't take your life. And we need more cancer to be able to come into this field, because attempted suicide is actually not an offense. It is a problem that somebody has, and let us try and address the problem at the root. Madam Speaker, I support.
The Honorable Dr. James Nyikal, Member for Seme and Chair Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Madam Speaker, this is actually an amendment that we should have had a long time ago, because I'll just take one major aspect of this. Attempted suicide is often associated with mental illness, such as bipolar illnesses, particularly in the depressive mood. And this is a very common problem. We all know that mental illness is a major scourge in our society now. And another important element of it is that big symptom of mental illness is lack of insight. That is actually the most important, one of the most important things. You do not recognize, or you do not know you are sick. So if somebody is mentally well, they are not actually aware that they are unwell. And then one of the symptoms that they exhibit is suicidal ideation or suicidal tendency. Now, if that is a crime, then you are making illness a crime. Instead of actually getting somebody treated, you then actually choose to take them to court and try them. And as we all know, many times there may not be opportunity when somebody is now before a court of law with attempted suicide as a crime to actually get the opportunity to be assessed and even to be treated. So for me, for all the reasons, I think the fact that attempted suicide is a major symptom in mental illness makes it so almost mandatory that it should not be treated as a crime. It should actually be treated as a sign of illness, and the person assisted and help should be made available to them instead of dragging them to court. With that, Madam Speaker, I support the bill.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Samuel Parashina, Member for Kajiado South.
Madam Speaker, okay. Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I also stand to support the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2024, that has been sponsored by Honorable Anthony Oluoch, MP. Madam Speaker, the purpose of the bill is just to reappeal the attempt under the Penal Code. Madam Speaker, argued or contributed, the attempted suicide should not be treated as a criminal activity that is supposed to be taken to a criminal justice system, but should be taken to a mental health. And it's because once a person attempts suicide, the cause. And basically the cause of attempted suicide is distress that people go through in life. Sometimes we find a person, we are not able maybe to appreciate the challenges that we go through in life, perhaps by going to maybe asking for guiding and counseling. Sometimes you find someone goes through a lot of challenges, maybe even just because of the job, the person lost a job, challenges of maybe even basic things in life, and even challenges in terms of families. By the time you are getting a person attempting to do suicide, it is always probability of being the last resort is very high, Madam Speaker. And this parliament will be able to save the country a problem that is currently going on. If you go on data, since there have been, since the attempting suicide has been treated as a crime, we ask ourselves, how many lives have we been able to save? The answer is no. So, Madam Speaker, in other jurisdiction or other in the jurisdiction internationally, in Wales, England, they have also challenged and reappealed the penal code. This is what we inherited in the colonial time, whereby you just find out that things that are not supposed to be happening, in fact, in the continent of Africa, today, we want to ask ourselves, what can government do once we appeal the penal code today, or the House approve the bill, as I stand to support? Is the creation of mental health centers should be more in this country. In fact, it should be in every county or even every constituency. Because even the use of abuse of drugs, abuse of even alcohol and those kind of things can cause a person to decide to attempt to do suicide. But if at all we have a mental health system that is able to take these challenges of the psychological problems that people go through in life, then we are able to save many Kenyans, and not only to see as a justice being the only way to sort it out. Madam Speaker, under Article 28 of the Constitution that guarantees and prevents human dignity. And human dignity, I mean the value of life, the right of life. It is totally, if you check on that article, it's basically showing that everyone has a right on how to carry his or his own life, but it's upon the government to be able to give a free and fair place that and even promote and try to help these people. I was trying to see why we're not doing public campaigns, the way people on polio, malaria issues, vaccination issues. We also put the issue of challenges of human being to be part of a campaign. People to feeling, how can we be able to come out and speak? And Madam Speaker, in this country, recently we just got a big challenge in this country, the loss of life to Michi girls. And when I was looking at what might be the cause or what was the problem, you'll find out even the kids, by the time the students are trying to move to ban even dormitories, when they know their colleagues are inside. It's all about the challenges that people go through. So even if you want to criminalize those, even if we criminalize everyone and criminalize maybe it was a bad thing to which has happened, but I've learned today that one student said that there will be a challenge, these things we will going to do these things, maybe because they fear the exam, maybe they're going to peer pressure. But I was looking at, if we had a program that even our students go through in schools of counseling, guiding and counseling, a subject on itself, it was going to help a lot of people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a bill that I urge this House, let us all of us support. It is something that will help us. It is something that will now try, even you see what is happening. I can tell you, Madam Speaker, currently, people cannot afford everything in life. We are not created equally. And we cannot say because I am able to sort out my issues in this line, then the other person will also be forced to do the same. We are not born, our cultures are different. Our beliefs are different. The way we handle challenges in life is also different, Madam Speaker. And I stand to support this bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very much. The Honorable Indikiri Mugambi, member for Buri.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I have some very interesting statistics on the study that was between 2025 and this year. The suicide cases among men was, the cases reported on suicide, 70 to 80% was men. The age group during the same period, 15 to 29 years old. In terms of regions, the following counties were quoted as having high cases of suicide: Kiambu County, Nyeri, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Nyandarua, and Meru. Madam Speaker, these are very interesting statistics in light of what we are discussing today. The element of criminality among the suicide. This is a very interesting statistic because, Madam, it is telling us something. What is this that is very common that is causing people to commit suicide? That 70 to 80% are men. That the age blanket is our young people, 15 to 29. How is it coming out in a region that we all know they have the largest number of suicide cases? Madam Speaker, it comes out in so many ways. One, there is a lot of stress in life. We have been taught that there are a lot of cases of drug addictions in some of these regions. There's a lot of stress associated with alcoholism. There is a lot of suicidal cases associated with the normal pleasure of life. Madam Speaker, the cases of illegality, they are very minimal these days. Because there are some people who are saying, your family commits suicide. But no, it is not coming out statistically as it used to be before. But if you look at the mental cases associated with stress, Madam Speaker, it's quite an worrying situation. Madam Speaker, there are cases where people have become terminally ill and they want to take their life. That's another cause. Madam Speaker, there is what is called forced suicide. You know, you can push someone until you are told to commit suicide. And lastly, Madam Speaker, there is something called religious suicide. The Al-Shabaab, they go and commit suicide. Now, Madam Speaker, this is a very important bill because really we cannot criminalize some of these people who have committed suicide because of stress. Mental illnesses appear because life is so difficult. We can also go ahead and see that not very poor people who commit suicide, interestingly, the people who commit suicide are from very rich families. And some of these people will throw themselves from the houses upstairs.
The Honorable Indikiri,
Madam Speaker.
Would the one for Kilifi County, where people decided not to eat until they died?
Yes.
Would this also be part of religious suicide?
It's part of the religious suicide because the Shakaholas and also the Al-Shabaabs, you also talk about, it's also cases of suicide. So, Madam Speaker, it is not right to criminalize these people. We must, as a country, start investing quite a lot on research and continuously engage particularly young people aged 15 to 29 to know exactly what is this that is eating them. And then we go to some of these regions where suicide is quite high. That will give us some case studies, but also we cannot criminalize these people. Let's give them counseling. Let's provide health rehabilitation centers. Let's understand their kind of situation. Let's try and talk about this issue of suicide publicly without hiding. Madam Speaker, it's very unfortunate that we educate our children. At the university, they commit suicide. It leaves it straight to the parent. So it is a very emotive thing. We would like to give these people a second option of life. And that's why I agree with the mover of this bill, that these people deserve a second life. As a state, as a nation, there's something that we can do. And I can assure you, if we continue talking about it, public awareness, not condemn our people to gallows of death, knowing what they have gone through is not their cause. Madam Speaker, we are not the only country that is trying to bring registration. We are part of the global network. Other countries are doing the same, and I would like to say Kenya is not in isolation. Let's address this issue from local, national, and at the international. Madam Speaker, I support this amendment, and I tell my very good friend, Orioch, thank you very much. I don't know why. These days you are coming up with some very interesting amendment. Do you have a lot of cases of suicide in Madhali? I can't set it in statistically. I don't know the reason why, but I think thank you very much because you are patriotic Kenyan. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Mary Emase, member for Teso South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. From the onset, I also want to support the proposed amendment, called Amendment Bill 53 of 2024. Honorable Speaker, when people commit suicide, they commit suicide for reasons. Sometimes one feels they have gotten to the end of it. I hear some of them say, I'm tired, meaning there is a lot of hopelessness. They feel trapped. They feel like there's no way out. And that happens, Madam Speaker, because of certain causes this person has been going through. So when we criminalize attempted suicide, actually we are punishing a sick person. This person should be given support. There should be someone coming to say it is okay, it will be well. They need psychological support, they need counseling. They need to see a doctor. Honorable Speaker, this is a very good bill. We should decriminalize attempted suicide. Article 43 of our Constitution talks about the right to life. And to commit suicide is not easy because it's painful. So when you find an individual has gotten to a level where they are committing suicide, then it means they're going through stress. It could be a loss of a loved one. It could be a debt. It could be pressure at work, pressure at home. They're going through a situation that calls for psychological support, love, but not to criminalize. Because in an event that they're not succeeding, that they're not successful in committing the suicide, that individual needs support. So, Honorable Speaker, there are countries that have decriminalized attempted suicide, like Singapore and many other countries. So, I think this is the right thing to do because we need to support individuals that are going through these situations by giving them the necessary support that they need as opposed to criminalizing. And imagine somebody has just survived a suicide and then is being taken to court and being charged that it was a crime, and we forget about what the causes. So what should be done is to focus and address the causes that push someone to even start thinking about committing suicide. And by doing that, we shall be helping
these individuals as a nation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Beatrice Adagala, member for Vihiga County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to also talk about this issue, this amendment bill, number 80. On this amendment bill, Madam Speaker, Kenya at the moment is experiencing an alarming mental health and suicide crisis. This is driven by socioeconomic distress, unemployment, relationship issues, with crisis hitting mostly young people, the age of 15 to 29, that's, let's say, age of 35, which is very rampant in this society. Madam Speaker, something has to be done urgently. We don't need to criminalize this. It's not individuals liking. Life itself is forcing people to go to some extreme extents. We have drug and substance abuse. We have marital issues, which are culminating from economic power, which is making our people cannot manage to live. So most of these people, they need to be taken to centers. And I think the Minister of Health should establish centers whereby most of our people should be taken there so that they can be given counseling, be talked to, and maybe from being talked to and other things like change of the economy, maybe people employment. If people can be talked to, I don't think we can have these rampant cases of suicide that is affecting our young generation from the age of 15 to 29. My colleague here talked about issues of what is happening in schools. Actually, some of these are attributed to drug and substance abuse. I'm sure if action can be taken, the Minister of Health, to ensure in our counties and even our sub-county hospitals, we have areas where people can go for counseling, and even the churches take charge. People should go for counseling so that when somebody has an issue, you should not look at it, he or she should not look at it, that's the end of life. Life must continue despite the hard economic times that people are passing through, despite whatever is going on. I think it's a high time the Minister of Health should come in. And the religious leaders. Kenya is mostly religious. We have the Christians and the Muslims. We need to give our people information. We talk to our people so that most of our people are not colonized by drugs and alcohol, so that when somebody sees there's a problem somewhere, or somebody will resort to maybe planning to, the devil may use his head to think of committing suicide. Madam Speaker, if this is taken seriously, major risks that include economic hardship, unemployment, drug and substance abuse, we will have no cases of people trying to commit suicide. If this is addressed, the church, I'm appealing to the church to strongly take charge, and the Minister of Health. We shall have a free society where nobody will want to commit suicide just because of an economic hardship or anything that is not even irrelevant. So I want to support the committee that the amendments that I'm making, I'm supporting them. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Dorothy Kiara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I do support this amendment, and Madam Speaker, I'm saying it has come in handy when, Madam Speaker, we must think critically on this matter of decriminalizing suicide. Madam Speaker, suicidal people are sick people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before someone reaches the stage of suicide, we normally start with the small things that we think don't matter. In psychology, we start with stress. When you become stressed, sometimes you are not in your normal self. Then from stress, you graduate to anxiety. When you start becoming anxious over things, you are not yourself. Then, Madam Speaker, we also go further and enter into depression. Depression is a stage in life where you just feel you are off, you just feel you don't know what to do with your life, and you feel deeply that you have been neglected, you have been betrayed, you have been left by people that you thought would be close to you. Madam Speaker, in all these circumstances, a suicidal person is not aware of what he or she is going through. Madam Speaker, the primary act of identifying a suicidal mind must start with the people who are close to you. The people who are very, very close to you must be the first people before you even see a doctor to notice and realize that this person, there is something that is not right. And Madam Speaker, in most cases, when people enter the final stage of depression, this is when they become hopeless. This is when they feel dejected. This is when they feel they don't have anybody holding on to them, and they just feel as the last resort, let them leave this world. Madam Speaker, it's difficult for us along the way to identify these people and take them to the hospital before they do the act. This is why I've said, Madam Speaker, the primary person who should identify a suicidal mind are people who are close to you, your peers, your teachers, your parents, your brothers and sisters. Honorable Speaker, it is interesting because the World Suicidal Day is globally celebrated, Honorable Speaker. It is recognized and celebrated across the world on 10th of September each year. Apparently, this happens to be my birthday, 10th of September, as much as I've never had a suicidal mind. Madam Speaker, it is good that as we think of what steps the government should take, it is first of all to acknowledge that, Madam Speaker, suicidal people should be identified by. We treat them with a lot of passion. They need to be loved. They need to feel that the world has not come to an end. May the feeling they don't have jobs, they don't have money, they have been rejected by the people they loved most. In most cases, Honorable Madam Speaker, the young people, like in our midst, our young children will always think of suicide as the last resort when they feel their lovers have left them. Honorable Madam Speaker, it is up to us and through our daily life, even in our institutions of learning, even in our schools, even at the university level, let us have a moment of counseling our students by ensuring that they go through counselors to tell them being rejected by a loved one should not be the final thing in their life. There are always men and women who are ready to pick them up and love them again. Because, Honorable Speaker, we have seen very young girls in our society even deciding to kill their young lovers simply because a girl has said to their advances. Honorable Madam Speaker, it is up to the schools, to our learning institutions, to have guidance and counseling tutors in every stage of the child's growth, so that these children can be taught how to go through life, how to persevere, because this life is about perseverance, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is not easy even for us as politicians. Sometimes the expectations in life, even among politicians, is too high. Let us not look at suicide as it is only for the young people, even older people. As we go through even this political career, it is extremely very difficult, Honorable Madam Speaker. Sometimes you are very certain that your resources, in the belief that you are going to secure your possession, you use penny. Honorable Speaker, even as politicians, we need counselors so that we are prepared to know that even in the event that things go our way, suicide should be the last thing that we should think of committing. So, Honorable Madam Speaker, let this matter be treated like people who are suicidal are not criminals. It should not be criminalized. There are people who are not in their right state of mind. And Honorable Speaker, I comment that this committee and I support this bill and say, Honorable Madam Speaker, if there is any bill that is progressive, it is this bill where we treat suicidal people like normal people in the society who need. Honorable Madam Speaker,
Honorable Emase, anything out of order?
I want to raise a point of order. According to our standing orders, Honorable Speaker, and going by the mood of the House, since we are all agreeing with the bill, I would like to call
you are not on the mic. You are not on the mic. You are not on the mic.
Please be on record.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying, going by the mood of the House and with our standing, we seem to be agreeing with the bill. I want to call. I would want to request that you call the mover to reply.
It might be the mood of the House,
Yes.
But however, you just spoke to this bill, so you are not qualified. You are not qualified to do so. You're the one who has not spoken to the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Actually, you spoke very well.
Thank you.
So now you do not qualify. I give a minute to the Honorable Ikiara to conclude.
Madam
1 minute,
Speaker,
please.
Madam Speaker, I was almost concluding, but now I think I'll start afresh again. Madam Speaker, I want to say...
Honorable Ikiara, you have just about a minute.
Yes, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to say we have students today in the House when we are discussing this very important bill, and I want to call upon our learners. Nothing in life is simple. Everything that we go through in this life, we have to persevere. And I want to encourage them, even if you don't produce the best results to take back home to your parents, even if you have the last grade, take it back to your parents with a lot of pride if you have put your best foot forward. Because, Honorable Madam Speaker, we even push our students to give us results. We push them to become number one. Sometimes they are not capable of delivering that. And we push them until they contemplate suicide. Honorable Madam Speaker, I want to encourage them and tell them, we seated in this House today, personally, I have never been number one in class. I have never given grade A. But God has a space for each one of us. Please, go do your best in school, get the marks that you get, but what is more important is have a positive attitude towards life, and everything shall be well. Honorable Speaker, I support this bill and thank the committee and say, let us have this bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Mary Wamaua, member for Maragua.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I'm going to get to take the shortest time possible. I thought I would have time to move my motion, but allow me to take this chance to congratulate the Member of Parliament, Honorable Anthony Oruoch.
Order, Honorable Emase. Before we continue, Honorable members, I know that we have guests who have been seated in the public gallery, and I would like to recognize them. This morning, seated in the public gallery, we have students from Chumfi Comprehensive School, from Laikipia North Constituency, Laikipia County. 2, we have students from St. Joseph Girls, Chepterit, from Chesumei Constituency, Nandi County. We have students also from AIC Chemoiben Church, from Bureti Constituency, Kericho County. And we have students from Machakos Technical Institute, from Machakos Town Constituency, Machakos County. You are welcome to the National Assembly to continue observing proceedings of the House. Which one? Say, once again. Honorable members, for the purpose of record, the third group is AIC Chemoiben Church from Bureti Constituency, Kericho County. And I see the honorable member really very keen to welcome students. Please give him the mic. He's on his feet. Please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Lenemegit.
You know, Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity to just welcome and recognize the students present here today, and particularly from the St. Joseph's Jepterit Girls, who are my neighbors, who come from Chesumei constituency. We are just neighbors from Mgwen constituency. And I want to tell the students who are present here today, this is an opportunity for you to learn. I know it's been a learning process, and also to see how members of parliament debate and to get the first-hand information. This is an honorable house, and it belongs to all of you. We were once students like you, we worked hard, and that's why we're here. So I want to urge you to really work very hard, work smart, and you will excel in life. And most of you here might also be leaders like us and become members of parliament and even become the president. God bless you, and safe travel as you go back to your various schools. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lenemegit. Now I'd like to take back to the Honorable Wamaua, member for Maragua, so that she can conclude her remarks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was saying that I want to take the shortest time possible. I thought today I would move my motion, but allow me to appreciate and to commend the Honorable Member, Anthony Orwoch, for coming out with a very good area for amendment within the penal code. And Madam Speaker, it is true that when we talk of attempted suicide to be punishable, then we are somehow becoming very mean when we know there's no one who would attempt to commit suicide, not unless that person is sick. Madam Speaker, we are supposed to look for ways of how we can help that person, because we understand, and it has been enumerated by several members who have alluded there before, the issues that makes our people, either old, middle, or young, to get to a level of feeling like committing suicide. And Madam Speaker, what we are supposed to do instead of punishing the act is to come with ways of how we can protect that life, because there are those who commit suicide, they die, but for these who never dies are the ones who are within the category of attempting because they do not die. And we can save a life by coming out with ways like guidance and counseling. These are people that we can also look for ways of how we can rehabilitate, because the issues that had brought the mental torture or the mental health, the illness, are still surrounding. So as a government, we can come with the issues that we can address and minimize all, fight this with the totality by making sure those who are attempting can be handled in a better way, and they add value to their life once again. Some are fathers, some are mothers, and others are youths, maybe who had out of drugs and substance abuse, who had come to a step that they feel it's like there's no one who loves them. That is a state of desperation. And if you are able to take care of such a life, then you can see there will be value within the family. I want to congratulate the honorable member so that at least I can leave some time for the next speaker and maybe a possibility of the mover to respond. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Esther Passaris, member for Nairobi City County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise to support the Penal Code Amendment Bill 2024 because it reflects the kind of society we aspire to be. One that responds to pain and compassion, with compassion rather than punishment. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable has really worked closely on this bill. And for me, the bill is, Honorable Speaker, attempted suicide is not an act of criminality. It is the final cry of a person who has lost hope, someone battling depression, trauma, addiction, financial distress, family conflict, or even overwhelming emotional pain. At that moment, they do not need handcuffs. They need help. They do not need a charge sheet. They need counseling, treatment, and a community with them. For decades, Section 226 of the Penal Code has prosecuted those who have already reached one of the darkest moments of their lives. We have effectively told them that if they survive a suicide attempt, they may face imprisonment. Has never prevented suicide. Instead, it has deepened stigma and discouraged people from seeking help and left many families suffering in silence. Honorable Speaker, the Constitution guarantees every Kenyan the right to dignity, equality, and the highest attainable standards of health. Mental health is health. It deserves the same seriousness, investment, and compassion that we give physical illness. When someone suffers a heart attack, rush them to hospital. When someone suffers crisis, we should respond with the same urgency and care. The High Court has already affirmed that criminalizing attempted suicide is inconsistent with our Constitution. Today, Parliament has an opportunity to bring laws into harmony with those constitutional values. As legislators, we must also ask ourselves a deeper question: what kind of nation do we want to leave for future generations? One way people hide their struggles because they fear arrest, or one where they know ask for help without shame? The answer should be obvious. The bill is not about encouraging suicide, it is about preventing it. Decriminalizing opens the door for interventions, early diagnosis, counseling, and recovery. Just families, teachers, to engage without the burden of criminal sanctions. Honorable Speaker, we have witnessed rising cases of mental challenges among our young people, our security officers, healthcare workers, parents, and professionals. Economic hardship, unemployment, substance abuse, gender-based violence, and social isolation continue to take a heavy toll. We cannot continue responding to these realities with laws drafted in a different era. I also urge that once this is passed, the government must not stop at repealing an outdated provision. We must strengthen mental health services across the country, ensure that every county has accessible counseling services, integrate mental health into primary health care, support school-based counseling programs, and establish crisis hotlines to invest in public awareness to reduce stigma. Honorable Speaker, the scripture reminds us in Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in